Hi everyone, welcome back to Through Alchemy. So today's reading is going to be titled as What's Your Form of Seduction? This is going to be inclusive of what's your nature, your personality, what makes you attractive to the opposite gender, and how do you attract people towards you. This is going to be applicable for both genders, men and women. So we have three piles from left to right. For pile number one, we have green aventurine, a raw stone. For pile number two, we have amethyst covered in sparkly paint. For pile number three, we have dendritic agate. Pause if you need a little bit longer, pick the one which calls your name the most, and I'm going to begin with pile number one. Hello, pile number one. If you chose the green aventurine, this is going to be a reading. So we have few pre-shuffled cards. Let's begin with that, and then we're going to shuffle a bit of tarot. Excuse me, a little bit of tarot. So already throat chakra issues. You could be a writer or a singer. There's a poetic streak to you that I immediately pick up. I'm just gonna take a moment to realign your cards before we begin, so we have a flow. So Spirit is advising me, to already get your tarot out. For some reason I'm facing difficulty in speaking. I'm not gonna do a heavy shuffle. I want to keep this like a little freestyle, I'd rather say. There's something about your self-expression, very prominent. King of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Magus, or take that as a magician, the Sun in reverse. Bottom of the deck, Five of Wands. I also see the Ace of Cups over here. Crowning energy is Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Alright. Okay, right off the bat, I feel like this is going to be interesting because this is quite in-depth. I think that people that get attracted to you get to know you, or they have some sort of information to understand what kind of a person you are. Alright, so let's begin with the card of Grand Cross Provoker 47 that reduces to 11. 2. So I think that you are somebody who likes to collaborate, or that's the sense that you give. I think there's a certain way that you express yourself, which is sometimes it's like you take away. It's like you give and then you take away your energy. And since we're inclusive of light and dark attributes both, so we're gonna see honestly what makes you attractive as a whole, instead of just the good parts and the bad parts. So I think that you do attract people that are from the lower, are a little on the lower vibration, and it's also because you are pretty manipulative. And I think that it's not just the way you communicate, but it's also like you sort of like have a fear of rejection, or I'm seeing that you don't want to be taken advantage of, so you pull away whenever you think it's possible. And I think that's sort of like always how you have been, and it's transforming right now. You're changing this way of being. I feel like with the winter dream gestation period, this is specifically somebody who is very attracted to you. You would know this person, and I think that you have feelings for this person and this person has feelings for you. This person is seeing you as someone who is stepping into their, I would rather say, their divine masculine energy, who's somebody who's understanding their power. You have such a potent, I would say, sexual energy that I pick up over here, that it's almost like people really have to fight for your attention, is what I'm picking up. And it's almost like I just yeah, I just had to check if I hit record, and I feel like it's almost like people have to keep checking in with you whether you're still interested in them or not, and that's also what makes you attractive, because it's like, are you still there, like, knock knock, are you there? Because you have an energy of pulling back suddenly, which makes people feel anxious, and it gets them hooked onto this sort of in and out energy. And I think that certain people who allow you to do that are they have some trauma of their own. But I think that the kind of people that you attract are also who are to an extent emotionally unavailable, and this really binds in the reading. We cannot ignore that, because your form of seduction mainly works on people that are not authentic, or they haven't put in the work on them, right? So I think that it would appeal to masses, but it wouldn't appeal to a person who has spiritual authenticity. Does that make sense to you? So I see that over here you are definitely evolving to a, I would say, a better version of yourself. And I think that it's not in a cliche sense, because you haven't always been the happiest person in your life. People might have not been able to pick up on that, but vibes do speak loud. So I think that specifically if you have somebody in person that you resonate as your divine counterpart or a soulmate, I think that this person picks up on the transition that you're going through. And I think that this person and you have a lot of fights because of this, because you both are going through a fictional phase, and the focus or the attention is a lot on the way that you are behaving in this connection or this relationship. So I think that even if you don't have a person specifically in your mind, this could apply in the future, or this is just a reading about, honestly, I think that this would not apply if you don't particularly have somebody in mind, or this could be a past energy as well. But there is an insight to a connection which gives me that your form of seduction is varying at this point, because your vibration is changing. And I don't mean it in a sense that you're always in a high vibration, because that's not practical, that's not humanly. But I think that you are rising above from codependencies and addictions. You could have been involved in some sort of a substance abuse which used to hinder your personality, and right now I think that people are seeing your self-expression more than ever. And it just doesn't have to be in the way that you are presenting yourself on social media or something, but it's in person. These differences are being noticed in person. And considering the picture that you chose is a lot about the green color, right? The hues of green. And it's almost like an enchantress who has like elf ears. So you're pretty intelligent, and also you've got an eye for detail is also what I'm picking up. So mainly what attracts other people to you is also that you remember details. It's almost like this back and forth energy, which is not completely positive, but I'd say that it really gets people hooked onto you, because they sort of have to again be like, knock knock, are you still there? Because they've been waiting with the winter's dream gestation period. I think that they've been waiting for things to come alive. They've been waiting for you to make some move on them. Also because you're in the masculine energy, I see that certain people just have to sit with their feelings in bottled up and capped down, and it's almost like you over there are just doing your own thing. So your form of seduction really comes down to the fact that you're somebody who's becoming self-oriented, goal-oriented. I don't see mainly like a lot of career focused, but you are somebody who works hard on your goals. With the tidy house in reverse, organization and clarity, I think that with the Grand Cross Provoker, this is the Nine of Wands energy. I think that you are somebody who is spontaneous. Like you might be somebody who is striving for stability, but your approach to it is not exactly that. It's almost like an opportunist. Like you pick up the opportunity that's in front of you and you avail it, and that's exactly how it should be. So it's almost like meeting maybe this person. You probably might have a little disrupted, or I would say dysfunctional pattern with this person, because you're yourself sharing that relationship right now. And I think that what's causing a reflection, or what's manifesting in this connection or maybe in other connections, is that you're in and out of other people's lives. So they're seeing the growth potency within you, but it's also where they're seeing I would say the loopholes as well, right? So I think it's not bad because it's very realistic, and of course, like life is bittersweet. And I think that overall, what's I would say, rather, it's not even like seductive, but what how we call seduction as a label for how you lure people in. I think what calls people in is this growth spot that you're having. It's almost like talking to you after a few months and looking at how emotionally mature you have become because of the King of Cups. It's almost like you also have this sort of a feminine approach to it, where you sort of attract people rather than sort of approaching them always. You wait for people to come close to you, and it's also because you're scared of getting way too close to them. You have these walls up, and again, this adds up to the fact that how you're pretty attractive to other people, because it's almost like it's like a battle, or I wouldn't say it's a battle, but it's a little bit of fight to get into your inner circle. And I think that being around you is also like a wake up call for a lot of people. I think there's definitely something about the way that you speak, because the communication is brittle in this pile. I immediately pick up on that. There's something that is again, it's very on and off. That's probably the theme of your reading. And I think that this comes from a place where you yourself are struggling with a little bit of being always in capacity with your emotions, right? And you're ending this trauma. So I don't necessarily see this as a shadow attribute, because I see you evolving and sort of transmuting this, because self-awareness helps us transmute all of this pain. So I think that there's also an energy of you being a little bit of perfectionist. Like you want to filter out the ways that other people perceive you. And I think that this reading might be a little uncomfortable for you, because you might be hearing things that you thought that were secret, but certain people can pick up on that. And that is also a sense of seduction, because believe you me, people are curious about what's your shadow attribute. So you might be really hard on yourself, but people are actually curious about what would be actually like to see maybe your aggressive side, or how do you really behave when you're pissed off, because I think that you really bottle up your emotions, and mystery is always something that calls people in, right? When I was starting off the reading, I was looking at the woman in the thumbnail that I chose, and it's almost like the word that I got was elstress. Like it's a combination of elves and enchantress. So I think that you do have a mystical nature to you, and it doesn't have to always be in the way that you just present yourself, but it's energy. Energy speaks volumes. So I think that it pretty much sums up what I've been trying to say, that your energy is really about making the best of what you can. And I think that you're somebody who thrives off maybe fleeting moments of memories. Like you're not somebody who's very fixated on long-term investments, because you're particularly very fixated upon your own abundance. So I think that it's sort of, again, it's like, are you still there? Or are you still with me? Because you look so self-absorbed, and that is your way of seduction, because you're so lost in your own world, in your own cocoon, that it often makes people want to get into your inner circle, right? So before we conclude, I'm gonna pull out one more card. Put a cherry on the top. The river. Okay, we're gonna take two more, because I feel like the warrior, the fault line. Bottom of the deck, I see the ring. Okay. So you might be a commitment phobe, and not to reaffirm it, because you should not affirm that to yourself. I think that you do reaffirm that, since I mentioned that. You sort of keep telling yourself that I'm not, I just don't want to be in a commitment. I was about to slip the word I'm not worthy of commitment. So that could be a subconscious pattern, but also what seduces people or just calls them close to you is that you don't want to commit to them. And it's almost like, again, I told you that you attract a lot of people that are on a lower vibration. They are not confident within themselves, so it's almost like they keep on coming back to you, and they're like, hello, are you there? And that is the reason why they do that, because it's almost like they're trying to prove their self-worth to you, that commit to me, because see, I'm worthy. But if somebody is worthy, they don't have to prove that to you, right? So this is a little bit of a dark attribute, but hey, we're welcoming all sort of attributes over here of what collectively makes you seductive. So I think that one of the thing is that you seem a little bit I wouldn't say broken, but if that paints a picture, take this lightly, okay? But I think that you try to hide this, but people can see this because of the way that you behave. You're in and out, and you're not really investing in a connection. So that really says a lot about you, because you're scared of depths. And with the warrior energy, I see that with the 9 of Wands, it's almost like you're still fighting through life. I think that you have difficult, you've had a difficult journey, and certain times it's visible. Maybe you post about it, or you just word of mouth, but there's something that is known to a specific person that I'm picking up over here. This could be an ex or something. I see that this person particularly knows about this, and they're clearly coming over here. They're still attracted to you, they're still wanting you. And I think there's also a little bit of damsel in distress energy that I pick up over here, not necessarily in the way that they're like, oh my god, like what happened to them, but it's in the way where it's like they want to mother you. They want to sort of like, I'm getting spoon you in a way, like they just wanted to take care of you. And I think what's also seductive is that you don't want to be taken care of. So this is a little bit of I would say a little bit of devious sort of a dynamic that you present outwardly that makes people intrigued, like why don't you want me, in a way, right? So, pile number 1, this was your reading. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. I thoroughly did. And if you found a message that was helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icon so you know when I upload next. Let me know down in the comments section how that resonated. And I'm going to see you guys in another one. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose this beautiful raw stone, which is kind of shiny, I don't know the name of it. So we're gonna flip out your cards, the pre-shuffle cards that we have, and then get some tarot. So we have imagination, draw from the well of your own capabilities, the wall, empty well, spirit owl of 852 hearts, and we have grand trine blessings. Lastly, we have the card lost in space, needing direction in reverse. We're gonna shuffle some tarot. So I think you're quite psychic. I think you're a medium. And you have a lot of shadows from the past is what I'm picking up, considering you picked the picture of the woman with this beautiful golden aura is what I was picking up. She was I think she was in water, and there's a lot of reflection. I get an emergence of my heart chakra expanding. It's a beautiful energy. Honestly, when I picked out the pictures, I was most attracted to this picture, just in the sense it was really beautiful. And one of the things when I was sort of filming for the piles is what I heard was elf stress. So it's almost like, these women are sort of mythical creatures that look like elves, but they're enchantresses. So I think you're very mystical. We have the Page of Cups, Seven of Cups, the Temperance. We have Temperance twice over here with the Grand Trine blessings. We have the Knight, so I'm gonna take that as the Moon. And lastly, we have Five of Swords. Okay, very interesting. Bottom of the deck, I'm seeing the Three of Swords. Crowning energy is Two of Pentacles. You could be quite fickle-minded. I see that you're somebody who is not perpetually very decisive about their decisions, and considering that we're talking about what sort of calls people in, so keep an open mind, because I'm getting to say that seduction is not just a light attribute, okay? Certain times you call in people with your dark attributes, so be open to it. You might be somebody that really sort of likes to read about Lilith, and you might be into reading about the underworld or the darker creatures, or you're just very fascinated by the light and dark attributes. And at this point in your life, you might be really intrigued by the darker forces. We have the owl totem over here, which is a lot about wisdom, but I don't see that taking away from your light attributes. So even though you're a being of light, there's an energy to you which is almost like hibernation, and I really want to dive deep into my shadows. So I'm getting a lot of shamanic energy, very beautiful energy, pile number two. I think that you're someone who has been through a lot in your life. It doesn't take away from you still striving for better. One of the things that really caught my eye is that the empty well is in reverse with the lost in space, needing direction and time for replenish. I think that you're someone who is relentless in your pursuit to take care of yourself. With the temperance twice over here, Sagittarius energy, I feel like I'm picking up on heavy Libra, Sagittarius, and I'm also picking up on Gemini. And Aquarius. So air signs over here are very intellectual. I think that you're someone who you're not ashamed of putting yourself first. You've tackled this energy of people pleasing, and I think that what allures people in, or what calls them, is this sophistication, which is like, you come to me, you call people in, and you know that you're the shit, is almost what I'm hearing. So it's like, with imagination, I can also sense that if you're manifesting somebody in your life, if you have a crush, you're just gonna manifest and tell it to the universe that I like this person and I want them to text to me, and I want them to approach me, and you just leave it out in the universe. And you've noticed that even if it takes years, that person does come back in your life. It's almost like you know that you're a master manifester, and you have a bird's eye view, like you know what you want. And I think that what actually calls people in is that you're fickle minded about it. Like, you change your opinion really quick. You get bored of like the same old thing again and again. I think that you were brought up in a toxic environment, a dysfunctional pattern where there was a lot of chaos. So now it's almost natural for you to feel like there needs to be some mix up, or some sort of adventure in your relationships or your pursuit of relationships. You might be someone who unknowingly partakes in the sort of dynamic of runner and chaser. And I think that what really calls people in is that the most of times you're just somebody who wants to sit where you're at. It's almost like I'm hearing that I built this throne of my scars that I'm not getting off. So it's almost like you have pride in what you've been through, and I think that you do have a good amount of ego, and I mean ego. But don't take offense of it, okay? Just take it lightly, because this is completely, again, what I feel as almost like giving a disclaimer that seduction is not 100% a light attribute, right? So I think that over here what we have is you always striving to do better. There's an energy of leaving everything behind, and especially with the spirit owl is almost like preparation for the new. It's not like you're somebody who wants to remain stuck in that toxicity. I'm getting the word toxicity or dysfunctional patterns per se, but you've made a humor out of it. It's almost like you don't bug yourself too much with it, like I don't want to do this, or there's something wrong with me. It's almost like you've accepted your fate, like you're a warrior is what I feel, and you're somebody who is taking a humor in what you're going through, right? So you might also have a defense mechanism, which is like laughing it off when somebody hurts you, and that's also quite seductive, because it's almost like people accept you to go like rogue on them, and you're just laughing there and you're smirking, and you're like, okay, you know what, internally I'm kind of hurting, because I kind of knew that this was gonna happen, because this has always been happening with me since childhood, but I'm just gonna laugh it off, because I've been through worse, and people just are taken aback by that because they're like, whoa, I expected you to go a little crazy on me. And I think that it's not that you always are able to be like that, but most of the time you have a very sarcastic approach to a lot of things because you don't let a lot of things bother you. And once it does bother you, whoa, I see a lot of aggression over here. So I think that you're pretty okay with putting out your darker attributes. And I think that the fact that I've mentioned this twice, that seduction from your end is a little bit on the darker attribute, you're completely okay with it. I think that you embrace the darker aspects of life, and you're completely okay with dressing up however you like, putting out yourself in whatever. I'm getting anime, so it's almost like you have moods and you have alter egos or personalities that come out according to your mood that particular day. So either you're feeling really like bougie, or some other day you're feeling like really cheesy and you want somebody to pamper you. And it's almost like this energy of keeping things interesting. And what people also find seductive, or just calls them, is that unpredictability. I don't know what I'm going to expect with pile number two the next time I speak to them. Like, they're just so unpredictable. One day they're like completely flirty and they want me, the other day they're completely like MIA, they're not even present, they don't want to talk to me. And people pick up on the fact that you're going through something and you've hibernated yourself. I think that you open up with people about your struggles, that they know that you need to balance yourself out, but yet there's an energy of arguing with you, that give me more time, or just be more inclusive in my life. And I think that you're pretty moody is what I pick up over here, that you are moody. You have I wouldn't say mood swings, but you're going through ascension, so that really affects the way that you interact with the outer world. And I think that this is also inclusive of how it keeps people sort of hooked onto you, because your way of seduction is just being yourself. You're 100% unapologetic about what you're going through and how much time you need. It's like you own your struggles and you're like, I need my time. So if I need to check out of this relationship, or if I need time to just go away, I'm gonna do that. I think you're someone who likes to maybe go to like forests or like in the nature at night. And I think that this is also something that's very intriguing, because it almost gives like a really dark feminine energy to you, which is like, aren't you scared of the dark? And you're like, no, like I thrill in the dark, like I strive with the dark. And I mixed up that grammar, so I meant to say that I thrive in the dark, and I really enjoy it. So I think that you're a fast speaker, you have a lot of thoughts, and I think that with the mental energy I pick up over here, you're someone who's very calculative, you can get your way out of it. And I think that this moodiness that you're okay with presenting to other people is because you're self-reliant. You're like, what, I'm gonna be myself. I think you swear a lot, because I've tried not to cuss way too many times while throwing this sass that I'm feeling right now. I think that you're someone who's pretty okay by being by yourself. And I don't necessarily pick up as you're somebody who doesn't want commitment, but I think you're waiting for your match who can actually match your level of crazy, is what I'm getting. Your type of weird. So I think that yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I think that there's a lot that you are doing for yourself, and it's almost like people just want to come in your inner circle, they want to be let in. And I can't lie, but I think you really confuse people with your behavior, because it's like one day you want them, the other day you're just like bored with them. So definitely there's something about you slipping tongues, or like I think that the aggression really takes over. But I think your power of seduction is also when you know somebody's weaker points, you use it in a fight. Again, this is a darker attribute, but I think that you really hit the spots that can really hit somebody's self-esteem. And once they realize that you've noticed that, it's almost like they get really aroused by your intelligence. Like, how do you know that? You don't really look that interested. How did you get that? How did you get that information on me when we've just spoken like I don't know, 25 times is what I'm getting. Like it's almost like it's not enough time to figure somebody out, but it's again this analogy of being a psychic or a medium. I think that you do tarot on people, or you just exercise your intuitive abilities with the temperance. I can also see that you wait for things to play out the way they have to. Yeah. So we're gonna conclude this with a few pulls. We have apocalypses, the shadow, and the poet. Interesting. I am not really sure what's apocalypses. We have this seed underneath, so I'm just gonna look up what's apocalypses. So this is the unknown becomes known and guides the way. Nihilism, fatalism, hopelessness. I did pick up an analogy of nihilism. Like that's my favorite kind of humor. I think that your analogy with I see that you might enjoy a lot of human capitalist jokes, or you just have a really good sense of humor, which is inclusive of the darker aspect of life. I definitely see that with the shadow and the poet. It's almost like you have a way with your words that expresses dark humor. You might be really interested in dark humor. There's I'm getting the word superiority to your intellect. You're probably really intellectual and emotionally intellectual as well, and I think that is your main power of seduction, because I see that you integrate your lighter and darker aspects, and with that, undertone of I would say humor, there is also, I'm getting the word superiority to your intellect. Like, you know what you're saying, but then again, you're using it with sarcasm. So there's a heavy mix of sarcasm and taking life with a um, pinch of salt. It's almost like are you're affiliated with the struggles of life, but you're not still crying everywhere and seeking sympathy, because you have gained a level of self-love with the empty love. You are somebody who figures out things by yourself because of your intuitive gift. So I think all in all, this is somebody that I'm channeling over here. There's quite high caliber in taking care of themselves, right? You don't get defeated by obstacles. You just reboot the way your mindset has been, right? You upgrade yourself every time. So you might be an artist with the poet. There's something about lyricism that I'm getting. You might be really good with your words. You might have a way of expressing yourself. Again, that's a part of intellectual capabilities, and you might be really quick on your feet. You have solutions about everything. So you're somebody that people don't expect to be that smart, but apparently you are. So that brings us to the end of your reading, pile number 2. I really do hope that you found a message that was helpful. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated, and I'm gonna see you guys in another one. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose this Dendritic Agate, so this is gonna be your reading. So we have pre-shuffled cards. The first one is You Are Unique. We have Jupiter Return Benefits. So this is the Chariot card. I'm hearing that song because you're a star, oh my god, I don't remember this, but I think that you might be able to pick up I'm gonna give you my heart. Damn it, I can't remember that song. It's such a cliche one. But I'm getting the tune of it at the background, back of my head. Because you're a sky full of stars, yeah. Okay, that's such an old one. I'm gonna give you my heart. And I don't care. Okay, I really don't know the lyrics, so I'm not gonna try. So we have already a channel message. I think this is coming from a past lover. Somebody who's wanting to commit to you is what I'm getting. So this person is really like trying to hijack our reading. This person might be a runner is what I'm picking up. If that's not somebody in your life, just scrap that. But I definitely am hearing divine masculine. Somebody's masculine is like really upset about what he's done or she's done. Okay, so for tarot, let's see, pile number 3. What's your form of seduction? We have the Temperance in reverse, reverse, upright. Upright. Okay, we're gonna take this in upright. The Sun, the Star in reverse, the Knights. I'm gonna take this as the Moon, upright, reverse, reverse, upright, reverse. I think it reverse. So we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. Bottom of the deck, I see the Judgment and Nine of Cups in reverse. Definitely, I'm getting a channel messages from somebody's beloved that they're really missing you, and somebody could not take a leap of faith the moment it was required. But anyways, let's come back to you. Pile number 3, you've got my attention over here. So I am not going to take that channel message just as of now because I want to focus upon your form of seduction. I think that you're somebody that is very easy on the eyes. I see that you are, definitely I'm talking more about energy, but there's an energy of your physical appeal making it really easy for people to just go with you, you know, with the flow. I say that with the sun, 417 hertz, with the woodwives adaptability and the moon in reverse. You're somebody who is, you you guarantee yourself to take the time in your own life to balance out your masculine and feminine energies. We do have the Knight card, and I particularly don't know how does this fit with the this is the, I forgot the name of this tarot deck, but we have the sun and the night and the stars. So we spoke about the star lyrics in the song, but I think there's definitely an energy of you just not coming in the grasp of certain people, and you're, I wouldn't say you're flighty, but you're very picky, you're choosy, you have really great standards for yourself, and kudos to that, right? Because you know that you're unique. You know, be yourself, everyone else is taken. It's almost like you know yourself, you know your strengths and weaknesses, but you never cut yourself short because you have certain weaknesses, because you recognize that everybody has skeletons in their closet, right? I think that your sense of seduction is very goal oriented. You have a very regal energy, which I can't really I'm not getting the word, like I can't filter your wholesomeness with just a few attributes. I can't just say that you're just pretty or you're just intellectual or you just got a good heart. It's the whole package. I see like a 100 on 10 energy. Like, you're really good looking, you're intellectual, you take care of yourself, you know, you cook, you clean, you know. I'm getting that Cardi B song, so you might be really into music, or you just have a really melodious voice. There's something that really calls in this specific person that I'm picking up. There's a lingering energy of somebody. I'm getting from spirit a lover boy is what I'm hearing. This could also be a lover woman, but I see that somewhere over here there's an energy of certain people feeling like with the woodwives, it's almost like you put limitations. And whenever I see this woodwives energy, it gives me a very witchy sense, which I love. And I think that, you know, this person is very attracted, or people generally are very attracted to this sense of mysticism, and it goes a little darker. So, you know, we love the darker forces over here. I think that you are very intrigued, you know, by, I wouldn't say perpetually with the demonic forces, but you use those darker aspects of yourself to your advantage. You know, you turn and you transmute that pain into power. But it's more than just power. I don't see this as being just you being able to be an alchemist. I see you as being somebody who has crossed a certain level of you know, I would say growth in your spiritual journey. With the sun card is, you know, it's almost like you have an ability to say yes to whatever transformation is being placed in front of you. You want to take the opportunity when it arises. And this card, the sun, is also an affirmative yes. So if you had any question, anything that was lingering in your head, this would be an affirmation for yes. And I think that you're somebody with the woodwives again. This card is really taking my attention today. I get a very witchy vibe. I almost like it makes me feel really like soul family, you know. I feel like you're really I'm getting the word like people can really easily get along with you. Your form of seduction is being open. You're open to different energies. You're open to different sort of personalities. You're open to different sort of contradictions. You like contradictions, controversy. Okay, I'm having a slip of tongue over here. So there's an energy of people not being able to meet your level of intellect, is what I feel, that they're not able to really match up your level of insight with the spiritual ability. I think that you're very talented with some sort of gift that you exercise with the Eight of Swords in reverse, and the benefactor, generosity and grace. I think that you don't allow too many people to just keep on taking advantage. It's like you will expose them to your energy, but certain times, because you're so welcoming, they mistaken it for just always being available for them. With the star in the sky, limitless possibility, and the star in reverse, people tend to get hopeless. We have a lot of major arcana over here. I would almost say like three major arcanas that gives me the energy that your energy is bold, it's prevalent, and I was getting a superficial energy from you as well. So you almost act coy about, you know, how I would say affluent you are with yourself, how okay you are with yourself, but there's an energy of acting like, you know that feminine energy where you're just acting like I like you, but can you approach me? Like, it's almost like femme fatale, like I'm calling you in, like you know that you're calling that person in, and you know that that person is going to come around, but you're not somebody who's just going to be like, I like that person's story so they know that I like them. You're going to approach if you feel like, or you're just going to leave prominent hints that do not escape the sight of the other person if you're interested. This could also be a bold confession, whether you're in love with someone or not. You're very open, and you're open to even rejection is what I see, that you're not really scared and you don't take shit personally because you're so concrete within yourself. And this might sound a little perverse, but I think that pile number 3, a lot of people see you as somebody who is not afraid of rejection or putting yourself out there. I don't see you as being a commitment phobe or something like that, but I just see you definitely regarding yourself. And it's not even like you wouldn't give chance to somebody who particularly is not on your level, but you see potential in them. And I think that that has gotten you in trouble before, but you have learned the ability to put greater boundaries. You learn. So you're not somebody who's going to be stuck with the lesson that you had to go through. You're just going to be like, okay, you know what? I learned, I made a mistake, but now I'm going to do better for myself. So that is that energy which I think that this person that's coming through, or people from your past, I'm also picking up on past friends, that they're seeing your manifestation abilities. It's like almost like you're a sucker. They're calling all the good fruits to yourself with the Jupiter return in benefits. I think that, it's almost like they think that you're lucky. And I think that you also affirm yourself with, you rewire your subconscious. You're very intellectual. You also study about manifestation, perhaps. You're also good with money. I think you're quite wealthy, or you just come across to be very wealthy. Number 15 is really calling me, so that reduces to 6. Overall, you're quite balanced, and I'm also getting that you have a good grasp of your masculine and feminine energy. So it's almost like even if you're a woman, for example, and you like somebody, you're going to probably drop hints. You're going to take a little bit of masculine energy to drop hints, but you're not going to do all the work. And if you're a man, you're probably going to be very open about it. You're going to use your masculine energy, but you're not going to chase the other person, right? You have your self-worth intact, and you're not going to get off your throne, is what I'm really picking up. So all in all, I think that there's a lot of self-preservation, there's a lot of integrity and morality. Again, I feel like the need to saying that even if you don't see it for yourself, other people do perceive you like that. Some sort of magnificent energy. I'm also getting maleficent, Angelina Jolie. So you might have really high cheekbones. Definitely there's an emphasis on your physical appearance that makes it easier for people to just take your little bit of bougie sass or like tantrums, is what I'm picking up. If you're a woman, you could be a little bit on the hourglass side, or just there's an energy like you really enhance your silhouette. And as a man, you might have really broad shoulders, is what I'm picking up. But overall, I cannot escape the fact that you are really physically appealing, and that is enough for people to just be drawn towards you. That is your form of seduction, because you know how to dress up yourself. You've taken the time to understand yourself as a whole. So all in all, I see a very wholesome energy over here, pile number 3. So before we conclude, we're going to pull out a few cards for you, because I think that if we go any longer with these cards, it's just going to be repetitive. For this pile, there's an openness to ambiguity. As a reader, when I'm reading your energy, I feel open to whatever message wants to come through, whatever wants to flow out, but there's a limitation to it. It's almost like we're not going to go in circles. So you don't give ample amount of chances. It's not like you're just there to just be a whale, you're like, I have standards, and just because I'm open, that doesn't allow you to keep on coming in my life whenever you feel like, right? So we have the Father. Again, this is that masculine and feminine energy. I feel like the Starborn and the creator. Amazing cast that we have over here with the sustainer. So definitely you are somebody that has a good head over your shoulders. You take care of yourself, you make that money, you chase that bag, you take care of your appearance, you're always groomed is what I'm getting up. You're really good to smell. There's definitely work that you put in maintaining yourself that is very visible outwardly. I think that with the starborn card there's an energy of you particularly being almost like you know that you always have potential to expand into or to exploit is what I'm getting. Like you see opportunities, or perhaps I'd say previous lessons to be exploited as something to be done better in the future. And I'm specifically getting the word exploit because you, again, there's an energy of like sucking out of the opportunities that you have, even if it's difficult, and then you turn it into optimism for yourself. So this is not just basic alchemy that we see over here. This is somebody who is perhaps an old soul, or you're very acquainted with the concept of spirituality, and I think that this enables you to manifest better for yourself, or just encounter a greater personality or a potential within you. I think that with the creator we have the canvas. It's almost like you're very open, right? Your energy is very fluent. Even if you're a man, I get a very feminine energy which is like flowing. You go with your intuition, you do whatever you want, and it's almost like even if you have noises at the back of your head, because of course you've been brought up in a conditioned society, you take out the time to put boundaries at anything that limits your, I would say, vague energy. Like it wants to just go with the flow. It just wants to sail through life. It doesn't want to be put in a box. You're not somebody that can be put in a box. And certain times, excuse me, I think that people tend to just jump the conclusion about you, but they're not able to derive a conclusion because you can't be put in a box. So this is what's really alluring, and what calls people in is there's always new to you, there's more to you, there's new to you, because you keep upgrading yourself, right? I'm eating up a lot of words, so I think that there's an energy of not completely figuring you out. I think that you cannot be figured out because you're figuring out yourself. So between us, I think that you keep a lot of your, I would say, transformative secrets, because every person has different ways of healing themselves. And I think that certain times people think or jump the gun again, that you have some tricks up your sleeve as to how you're doing that. Great, but it's just self-preservation is what I'm getting. You give yourself the benefit of the doubt to do better than you already have, and that's that exploitation that I see is of making the worst into your best, right? So I think that with the father, this is an energy of going from scarcity to abundance. You always cultivate better. You're an efficient person, and it's a lot about the way that you lead your life, because I think that it's not just about people that know you, but people who have seen you from afar grow into this somebody who's like completely a person of themselves, and you're very unique. You're when it says be yourself and everyone else is taken, it's like you cannot be found in another person, even if people try to. Right? So pile number 3, I'm gonna leave it here. I really do hope that you found a message that was helpful. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated, and I'm gonna see you guys in another one. Bye.